He said, this was a quote, he said, "Tomorrow history is going to be made. One airman, Lorraine Potter, will be promoted to general officer." And I couldn't believe that he said that. I had friends and colleagues who had served in the military. My brother had served in the Army. I decided, well, maybe, just maybe, a woman could be a chaplain in the Air Force. So I wrote a letter to the Air Force Chief of Chaplains, and I got a form letter back from the Chief of Chaplains and said, here's the requirements. But the last qualification was male. I met all but one, obviously, and I thought, well, okay, God had a plan for me. But several weeks later, I got a letter, the second letter, and it said, there is no more gender requirement. The Chief of Chaplains has deleted that. And I was the first woman chaplain to be commissioned in the Air Force. And just because of that, almost all my jobs were the first. And then in 1999, was selected to be the first general officer in that chaplain corps. I didn't want to be first because I knew you'd be living in a fishbowl. I had young airmen who would stop me and say, "You're doing the work of the devil," because it says in Scripture, women should not be preaching and speaking in church. Particularly when I was selected for colonel, it was like, you know, there aren't very many. How did she do that? Well, it was much more vocal when I was promoted to 1-star. I'm still amazed when I do put my uniform on at times that the stars are on the shoulders. It's beyond my expectations that I would ever get there, but also what an honor and what a privilege to serve at that rank. I joined the Air Force because I wanted other airmen and service members to know that they're appreciated and they have a God who travels with them, that they're not doing this alone and that they fit into a much bigger picture, that their life's meaningful. And all of us want to have a legacy that says what I've done with my life is meaningful to someone else. That's service. It's putting other people first. And I've been able to do it by wearing the US's and the cross on my uniform. So yeah, there are those who are first. Someone had to do it. I'm now glad I did it. I hope I made it easier for those who followed. The best phrase I learned was from St. Francis of Assisi. One of his phrases was, "At all times preach the gospel. Only when necessary use words."